Hey, welcome back. Lawrence here, and today we're starting from the very beginning, the very basics of setting your rod up to go fishing. Today we're going to accomplish pulling the rod lengths out, putting them together, taking your reel, seating it inside the reel seat, and then getting your fly line through the guides. Now, to begin with, we're going to get our rod lengths out. Some fly rods that you have are going to come in cases that have a protective wrap on them. Some may not. You may have just been given a fly rod or whatnot. But the goal here is just to get your rod lengths out so that we can get started on putting it together. And again, in my case, I do have the sleeve. Let me lay this down. If you do not have either of these, you can go online and purchase them. And I do recommend at a very minimum getting the sleeve to keep your rod lengths in so that it can protect the guides and keep them separate so that they're not always clinging together. So let's continue getting this out here. Again, just for protective purposes, I really like these sleeves. Okay, we'll throw that down. Now we're going to put these together. But before we do, I want to show you, my rod here actually has 4 lengths to it, okay? Some rods are going to have 3 and some 2. So I think it all works the same in putting it together the way that I do it, the way that I like it. You can one at a time put pieces together, move your rod down, put another piece on there, and continuously doing that. But what I like to do is I like to keep a workspace here. It's something that I learned while I was in the military with my weapons, and I continue to do it because I like everything close to me where I can get my hands on it without pushing things away. So what I like to do is take the 2 bottom parts and the 2 top and put each of those together first. Now, in my case here, when I put these ferrules on top of the rod tip here, I have white dots here on my rod, and those white dots help me align the rod length with the seat of the rod for where the reel will be. If you don't have that, and my TFO rod does not have that, you just put it together, kind of look at your reel seat here, and make sure that everything is in line with that so that it is good to go. Next, I take the top 2 lengths. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Again, keeping everything in my workspace here without having to put anything down onto the ground. Line up my dots. I'm ready to go there. And now I have 2 halves. What I'm going to do here is put these 2 together right here in front of me. Again, now I don't have to put anything down. I don't have anything laying on the ground. I'm just working in my space comfortably. Put those together and good to go. If I had 3 pieces, I would put the 2 bottom pieces together, then slide the top one on right here. If I had just 2 pieces, obviously you're just working in this space right here. But for that many, this just worked really well for me. Now I have my rod lengths put together. And before I go on, I'm going to show you what the reel seat is so that we have an understanding of what we're looking at here. The reel seat is the bottom of your fly rod where the reel is going to sit. And there are 2 pieces here that have grooves cut inside, or it's elevated to create a lip per se to go over this piece here on your reel. And the way you put your reel on is you sit it here inside those grooves, push that groove over there, and then you're going to take this nut and tighten it down. But before I do that, I want to show you something about a reel. It's important to know that you're putting your reel on the right way. You're going to have a right-handed reel or a left-handed reel. And what they mean by right-handed basically is you cast with your right, you reel with your left, and then of course your left-handed is you're casting with your left and reeling with your right. It's important to know that because the way the line is put onto the reel is determined by which way you're actually reeling. If you're reeling with your right hand, this line will be put on here, and this line will run upward this way. If you're a left-handed reeler, which is a right-handed caster, it's going to be the opposite. You'll have it on your rod, and the fly line is going to point upward on this side. So, because I cast with my right, reel with my left, I'm going to keep the handle to my left. And again, I'm going to take it, find the grooves of the reel seat, slide it on there, let it sit. I can now take the other groove, slide it over, and then tighten the nut. And just like that, tighten down, everything is on, nice and tight, I'm ready to go. Again, my fly line is pointing upward. That's how I know I have it on here correctly. Now for the final step is getting the fly line through the guides of your rod. And there's a couple ways to do this. Again, I have my ways, you may have yours, but what I find to be the easiest way is to pull line out first, create a loop, and send it through the guides. And let me show you what I mean by that. I like to get a rod length and a half. So my rod is 9 feet, a rod length and a half is roughly around 14 feet. So what I'm gonna do to get that out is grab the tip of the fly line here, grab my hand on the cork, and I'm just going to pull straight out. 1, release, come back in here, grab the line again at the reel, extend 2, and then extend a 3rd. And that gives me a rod length and a half of line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this line back through my left hand. I work with my left hand until I've got about 18 inches of line left right here, and then I'm going to fold it over. And what I'm doing here is I'm creating a little bit of a loop. And this loop is what I'm going to start sending through these guides right here. I'm going to put my rod down. Now, be careful when you're putting your rod down. You don't want to be laying it in sand or mud or whatnot, because that's going to get into your reel and that's going to get on your line. It could be abrasive and eventually cut your line. It could get inside the reel and make it where it doesn't reel well. So make sure you're putting it in a clean spot. And just continue sliding this loop through. And what I like about this, and I'm hoping it works the first time, is 1, this is allowing me a lot of free line to just keep pulling through where I'm not having to slide and keep yanking on that reel. Again, remember, it's sitting bound by the ground there, so, and it could be just sitting up on your truck bed or somewhere, but you want to pull enough out to make this easy to pull through. The other thing is, once I'm going, if I let go, you see that right there? Let me come back and show it to you. It got caught in that eye, in the guide rather, so that it didn't go all the way back down to the ground, and I'm not having to start all over again. So now I just pick up from where I was at, start sending it through. For me, I'm only 5 foot short, and I got to lean it down, and I just walk backwards with mine to make it easy. Again, keeping my reel in a clean spot. Make sure that you're attentive here and hitting every single one of your guides until you get to the tip top and through. And there I am through this. And as I had mentioned to you, I wanted a rod and a half length of line. I'm just going to step all the way back so you can see the whole thing. Look at that. That was an easy trick, just pulling it out, extending your arms to get that out there. Obviously, if you're taller, it's going to give you a little bit more line. I just happen to be the right length in the height to get that. But here we are. We've got our rod lengths out, put together. We've got our reel attached to the reel seat, and we've got our fly line sent through the guides. If you have any questions, please comment, ask me, and we'll get through this together. If you're liking our content, definitely like, share, and subscribe. And again, comment your likes, your dislikes. If you have some tips, let's hear them. I can take tips from anybody anytime, because I love to add more. And the next video, we're going to add our leader, our tippet, and our fly, and we're ready to get on the water. But until then, tight lines.